You are not the first human, not in the way you think. Go back far enough and the word human stops meaning one thing. It becomes a category with multiple entries, multiple species, multiple minds. And at several points in history, more than one kind of human was alive at the same time, walking the same continents, hunting the same animals, looking up at the same stars. Then they vanished, all of them, and the world was left with only one kind of human standing. You, your species, Homo sapiens. The question is what happened to everyone else. 300,000 years ago, the world was crowded with people you would not recognize. In Africa, your direct ancestors were beginning to emerge. But Africa was not theirs alone. And Africa was not the whole picture. In Europe and Western Asia, Neanderthals had already been living and surviving for over 300,000 years before modern humans showed up. Across a vast territory stretching from Siberia through Southeast Asia and into the Pacific, a group now called the Denisovans occupied land that no single empire in recorded history would ever match. And deep inside a South African cave system called Rising Star, a strange small-brained hominin called Homo naledi seemed to be placing its dead in the dark deliberately, a behavior that paleoanthropologist Lee Berger and his team first documented in 2015 after a team of slender researchers squeezed through passages barely wide enough to fit a human body to reach a chamber no one had entered in a very long time. None of these species were what the old textbooks made them out to be. That is the first thing to understand. The image of the Neanderthal that dominated the 20th century, hunched, heavy-browed, barely smarter than an ape, was built almost entirely on one badly read skeleton. The bones belonged to an elderly individual who had suffered from severe arthritis. Researchers interpreted his stooped posture as primitive. It was not. It was pain. The real Neanderthal walked upright. Their brains were, on average, slightly larger than yours. They controlled fire with skill. They buried their dead in graves, sometimes with objects placed beside the body. They made tools that required multiple steps of planning and preparation. A 2018 study published in Science, led by researcher Dirk Hoffman, used a precise dating technique called uranium-thorium analysis to show that cave paintings found in Spain predate the arrival of modern humans in that region by at least 20,000 years. Those paintings, red circles, and handprints pressed against stone in the dark, may have been made by Neanderthals. They were not a failed sketch of humanity. They were a completed version of it. The Denisovans are even stranger because they almost escaped detection entirely. They were not discovered through a skull or a jaw or a skeleton. They were discovered through a single finger bone found in a cave in Siberia in 2008. A child's finger bone, fragmented and ancient. When geneticist Svante Pääbo and his team at the Max Planck Institute extracted DNA from that fragment and sequenced it, they found a genome that matched nothing in the record. Not Neanderthal, not Homo sapiens, something else. An entirely unknown branch of the human family, reconstructed not from stone, but from chemistry. A species that had spread across an enormous range and left almost no bones behind. Only genes. And here is the part that takes a moment to absorb. You carry pieces of both of them inside you. If your ancestry traces back through Europe, 1 to 4% of your DNA is Neanderthal. If it passes through Southeast Asia or the Pacific, you carry Denisovan sequences. Some of those sequences are not vestigial, they are functional. Tibetan populations carry a Denisovan variant of the EPAS1 gene, a gene that governs how the body processes oxygen at high altitude. It is one of the reasons people can live and work on the Tibetan plateau at elevations that leave most humans struggling to breathe. That adaptation did not evolve from scratch in Homo sapiens. It was inherited, absorbed, carried forward from a species that no longer exists into bodies that are walking around today. The other species are gone, but they are not entirely gone. So why did they disappear? The honest answer is that scientists are still working it out, but the leading explanations each say something important. Climate is one of them. Neanderthals had survived dozens of cycles of glaciation and warming over hundreds of thousands of years, but the conditions around 40,000 years ago were particularly punishing. Resources compressed, populations fragmented. Neanderthal groups, which were already small and spread thin across vast territories, may not have had the social network size to absorb the stress. Paleoanthropologist Chris Stringer at the Natural History Museum in London has traced how climate fluctuation was driving Neanderthal population crashes long before modern humans became a significant presence in Europe. Competition is another explanation. Not warfare, not organized violence, just the slow accumulating pressure of sharing a landscape with a species that does certain things slightly better. Homo sapiens hunted in larger coordinated groups. They used projectile weapons, spears thrown from a distance, that reduced the danger of each hunt. They maintained trade networks that carried information about food sources and migration patterns across hundreds of miles. None of these advantages destroyed the Neanderthals in a single event. They simply tilted the odds slightly in every season, across thousands of years, until the arithmetic ran out. And interbreeding may be part of the answer too. The Neanderthal population was already small when modern humans arrived in Europe. As the two groups encountered each other and occasionally mixed, the Neanderthal genetic contribution slowly diluted into a far larger Homo sapiens population. They did not vanish in a cataclysm, they dissolved. The boundary between species eroded over generations until there was no longer anything on one side of it. The result was a planet with one kind of human, yours. There is a fossil held in a German museum, recovered from the valley that gave Neanderthals their name. The bones belonged to a man. He had survived serious injuries over his lifetime. His right arm had been partially paralyzed. He had healed from multiple fractures. He had lived with these disabilities for years, which means that someone had kept him alive. His group had fed him when he could not fully hunt. They had protected him when he could not fully fight. They had carried him in whatever way that word meant 60,000 years ago. That detail is not the headline. It does not appear on the museum placard, but it may be the most important thing the fossils have ever said about who these people were. The humans who came before you were not dim, not brutal, not waiting to be replaced by something better. They cared for each other across hardship that most people today will never face. They looked out at the same world you look at now. They wondered about it. They survived it for a very long time. And then, quietly, across thousands of years, without ceremony or record or anyone left to notice, they were gone. You are not the first human. You are just the one that is still here.